packet.
Now, when I exit the meeting, will it do the same thing that the old one used to do, like save to computer, or will automatically just save to the cloud?
To my OneDrive.
Your
Yes.
OneDrive, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, so it should be good to go.
Yeah, the old one, we Zoom, it would give you, it would just say
I tried
to
to
the
call you
cloud
back.
or to the hard drive.
But you sent it, you sent it one day.
Our Wi-Fi?
Yeah,
I don't.
he was asking. I don't know.
Oh, no, it was that.
Yeah, guest Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'll sign or I'll leave.
Guest Wi-Fi doesn't have a password.
Or that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
All right. See.
Agreed. To go. So I think they're good.
No.
So,
Leave
leave it at that.
You guys all have to re-sign your check.
Yeah, meeting started and then you can see, you can click stop recording, which means that it's from, so we should be.
Yes. No, because then it's gonna have to.
Okay, well, I
How's it going?
did twice and it said not connected. So, okay, we're good.
You figured it out?
Yeah, I just- and, it was the magic touch. Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna hire.
You're gonna be the new person.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Have a better day.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's got some personality. I love it.
You're FedEx.
Look at that, I get personal.
The donation.
Sure.
What do you call me?
Haven't been changing.
Oh, so I can swear.
I don't know, when did Robert?
Or maybe I stood up. I should have started.
What is John?
What, Bill? Oh, yeah. All right. All right, let's get started. Roll call. Bill.
Thank you. John Holbeck's here, Jared is here, Erica
Here.
is also here, Ron Schultz.
Oh.
Absent. I'm here, Phil Phillips is absent. Dan Wendell.
Yes.
here. Bill Westford's here. Thank you. We have a quorum.
Excellent. Everyone stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Drop the puck. Oh, anything one. All right, was our meeting noticed?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of our previous meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Bill? Hi. Can I get a second?
Second.
Eric? Any discussion, corrections?
Yeah,
Okay.
on the meeting minutes, I left midway through that meeting, yet I'm approving and voting on things at the end.
I was wondering the same thing, Dan.
So I also had a motion that was tabled that wasn't, but I don't know if we even need to record those or not. No.
It's not table, and the volume, et cetera, was, I could not pick up on who was making the motions. And so at the end of the process, I sort of heard people and I tried to get a name to, and that's all I could do, so. If we do this motions, if you would just say your name, who's making the motion, and who's seconding it, instead of just saying, if you say your name, that would be much appreciated going forward, thank you. Sorry.
That's okay. All in favor of approval with the corrections, say aye. Aye. Opposed? So carried. Hi, Phil.
And Phil was here.
And Phil is here. Public comments or presentations, any public comments this evening? All right, moving on, agency rules, procedures, law clarifications. I have moved the entity director hiring process to old business on this one, so we're gonna talk about that later. Down through treasurer's report, Jared.
Yes, I do want to note, I don't have full access to everything yet as of yet. Cadence is working on getting that for me. I have the QuickBooks access. I reviewed the January statements. All entities reported a surplus with the exception of Palm Harbor Parks and Rec. You had, under renewal and replacement capital, I assume that's one of your ongoing capital improvement projects.
Well, and I talked to Ellen about that. So there's another account she wants me to move it to that's under the line. And that's why we show a loss, because
Okay.
it's 180,000 of previous year's funds that we're using to build that building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything I saw everything looks good, no anomalies, no issues. We did get notified from Cadence, we have a new rep for government banking, Melanie Humphrey. She said that the interest issue has been rectified and deposited in the accounts.
Nope, haven't seen it yet.
Okay, I don't have access to the accounts, but
They said they can see it from their end, but we
You
won't
should
be
see
able
by the end of
to
the
see
month,
it
right?
till the end of the month.
We'll see in another week.
We'll
and a
see.
half.
okay. I'm working on getting a hold of her. I did speak to Sharon DeLong and something on their end, getting me access. So other than that, nothing to report. Everything looks good.
Good.
Just one comment, just with the treasurer's report.
Sure.
We go back over the last year or so, and since you're not providing anything, you didn't either. We do this motion.
Wow.
We do this motion to approve, and then we unanimously we would accept or reject it. Technically, there's nothing to approve.
Correct.
So should we even have a motion to do that? Because if there's nothing in writing, if we're not doing a written
You
summary.
want me to?
Well, no, I'm not saying,
No,
but,
no.
since you're new coming in, I just want to
Yeah,
make
yeah.
sure we cross the Ts and
Question, I guess we could just acknowledge that it was discussed.
Sure,
That's
sure.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
That
Okay,
way.
thank you.
I like that.
I'm just curious. Yeah, thank you.
One less motion that we have to.
Yeah, because you're saying the same thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, piggyback on it, I mean, treasurer's report years past was, we don't have any money, thank you for coming in, so it's, treasurers that we've had for the last few years have done more than the treasurers previous. I know that because I was treasurer for 2 years.
Yes.
And we were not required to, we were there to be present during the audit and to, take care of those things. But the monthly report that like you're given, like John has given in the past is tenfold what we were getting before. So
Okay.
I don't think, I agree.
Sounds good. All right, treasurer's report is so noted. Thank you, Jared.
Thank you.
Moving on to, wow, we are just cruising through.
Oh, you just.
I know, I did it to myself. He's like parking.
So which does mean that our new treasurer did get the job that he was hoping. But you were worried it was gonna be all encompassing and a lot. You were a little hesitant last week.
Oh, no, that's fine.
I eased his mind over a couple of
You
phone
did a
calls
really
in the
good
past
job
month.
today.
I'm being new to the whole process. I haven't sat in on a lot of treasurer reports and seen.
That's
what
right, we're
goes
gonna
in.
add something onto it.
Okay, yeah. I wouldn't know any better. So.
All right, moving on. He's like Parks and Rec, monthly financials. And a motion to approve.
Bill Westwood, I make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Bill. Second.
Jared Long, second.
Excellent, Jared. Any discussion, questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? So carries. Director's report, motion to approve the director's report.
Bill Westwood, I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, second.
Jared Long, second.
All right. Mark, Mark, any comment?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just was moving along, then thinking that you actually had something to say.
Not a whole lot going on. Well, there's a lot going on, but not a lot of movement. So Jared Long, our new director, came out and visited the other side of the lake and visited with, took a tour of both the library and Park and Rec. So that was nice of him to do that and appreciate it. We did put in trailer restrooms out at the Meadows. And as I have mentioned before, they're pretty expensive to rent. It's like $3,000 a month. So we're trying to look at building a more permanent structure out there, possibly a prefab building. So we got that going on. Met with the county about moving our volleyball courts. We're working on that. Still have a couple meetings to do on that. Yesterday was the meeting, site plan meeting for the Meadows project. So there's a few more hoops we have to jump through before we can get approval on that. So it's moving along though. As far as sports go, soccer, they made a change to go for school age, like what grade you're in, or what your grade you're in instead of your birth year. This is gonna throw another monkey wrench into the works as far as,
Okay.
which teams you could play in. So, so this week we have Battle of the Nest, they're calling it. It's our flag football playoffs this week and next week. And then that will be over for the season. I think that's about it. Any questions?
I noticed you had 2 roof estimates on there.
Yeah, that's under like.
That's under new business.
That's,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
All right, any other questions for Mark? All in favor of Mark's report, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carried. No old business, correct?
No business.
New business.
Yeah, so I have, I included two of the estimates for a new roof for our soccer concession on the main complex. I had 2 more, but I didn't have them in time to put them into the packet here. But they're both more expensive than the 2 I included, so I'm asking to get a motion to approve spending up to $13,000 for a roof on that building.
I'll make a motion. Did we approve that? Bill Westwood.
Roof.
Roof. I got a motion by Bill Westwood.
Second by Phil Phillips.
Thank you, Phil.
Should I throw in there?
No, that's fine. Any questions, comments, discussion on Mark's request and motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Thank you very much.
Go forth and prosper, and that's a good spend on that one.
Go for it.
Hey, I gotta throw it out there. Palm Harbor Parks and Rec, monthly financial.
Motion to approve the monthly financials.
Payne,
Phil
Erica,
Phillips.
Erica second.
Erica on the second.
Cards.
It's the only one that can make a motion, so yes. Any questions on the monthly financials? Hearing none, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So carries. Director's
Phil
report.
Phillips, motion to approve the director's report.
at least let me get it out.
Erica Picard, second.
Erica. Comments, additions.
Sure, just as I commented before on Jared's comment, next month when you see my financials, I'll have moved the capital improvement money below the line, so we won't show a loss going forward on the financials. Speaking of which, we just got the floor sprayed in the building that's being built down in Sunderman. I did not get to see it today because we weren't allowed to walk in there, but I'll go see it tomorrow. I'm doing it very similar to the concession stand flooring that they sprayed in with epoxy. That building hopefully is going to be done within the next, I'm going to just say 30 days. I'm hoping 2 weeks, but 30 days. So we can start programming in there. We've got a couple programs waiting, Jonesing to be put in there, right, Cindy? But that will be very used over the summer for sure. Speaking of summer, believe it or not, it is only February 18th and we're half sold out already in our full day camp. As many of you know from sitting on this board and those that have not sat on this board very long, summer camp is a huge part of our program revenue. About 85 to 90% of our entire budget come from the 10 weeks of summer. And we're super blessed by that program, and we will find any way possible to keep it going even during construction, hence the reason for building that 2,400 square foot programming space. And we're also in the midst of investigating joining a regional esports league. I believe staff spoke with someone, was it from Seminole?
So, yeah.
Yeah, Seminole came up and spoke with us. They're sharing their ideas to join, to utilize our esports lounge and actually compete regionally, which will be fun and possibly even in the state. So that will be exciting if we get to utilize that for that. We completed I'm probably stealing your thunder, Matthew, but I got to go first. Staff Development Day last week with our partners here at Palm Harbor Library. I will give kudos to Trish and Kathy Wass over there, who did a fantastic job organizing it. And this year was uneventful, so to speak. No one got hurt at Staff Development Day. But it was very successful and enjoyed. And I even won a gift card without even trying. Let's see. Little League opening ceremonies is this Saturday. So if you're bored and have nothing else to do, by all means, come on out. We are in the midst of completing renovations. I think all the bases and pitching rubbers have been replaced. And I know that Little League's going to formally announce their project. I know Erica and I were on a call together with Pinellas County. I have not heard.
Not representing the board, of course.
Good job,
As a
Erica.
parent.
Representing Little League as a
As a
parent.
parent.
Yes,
As a
yes.
parent, right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Very clear.
Very, very clear.
But they're going to reveal that publicly to opening ceremonies, the project. We have not heard anything back. And BJ, you haven't heard anything back, right? About where we are in the process of approval for the county to allow that project to go forward with their private donors' money. And I'm only guessing that Little League has the money because I haven't seen the money. So we're hoping that they have it somewhere because we don't. Other than that, does anyone else have any questions about my report?
Are you questioning that the money is there?
No, it's there.
Okay.
It's
It's a good question.
I was brought into the project with you at that meeting.
Yeah.
So Little League was spearheading that. And so I've not talked to a contractor, haven't, so I saw what you saw, the conceptual drawings and.
So with that being said, so now it just came to mind, who, with that question that you just asked, anyways, who writes the check to the contractors, or who is contracting with the contractor to perform the work? Is it Parks and Rec? Is it Little League?
At this particular juncture, my answer would be Little League because I don't have the funds. I know Pinellas County is going to communicate through FICSA, through Parks and Recreation, because that's who the agreement is. It's with FICSA and Pinellas County, but we haven't gotten to that detail yet because we don't even know if Pinellas County, for all intents and purposes, I can't see Pinellas County saying, no, you can't do this upgrade, because basically it's just renovating what's there. We're not adding much to the field, like batting cage, that's it. But
And not 1 square foot.
not 1 square foot, my friend, not 1 square foot. And that's important to note because otherwise then we have to involve Swift. Am I right, Mr. Gavin?
That's correct.
Not 1 square foot.
And the county, their relationship is with FICSA for this property. So as this process continues on, it's going to be the approval to make changes is going to go through FICSA, through Erica. And as far as Pinellas County is concerned, the money, we don't care who does it. We're approving, yes, you're able to do this thing. So then it'll come to however that happens, the county will be involved, they'll be approved to do whatever they're getting approvals for. And that way the control remains with Erica, with PHCSA, say, yes, we're allowing this to happen on our property or not.
And I will handle the project much like I would handle any project I was doing on behalf of PHCSA. They'll be licensed, they'll be insured.
Right.
We will sign some type of contractual agreement on behalf of, with something in the agreement that all checks will be paid by the Palm Harbor Little League, or Palm Harbor Little League will, have to give us somehow. And
Right.
that guy over there will be involved with any contracts, because I don't sign nothing without his. Ain't that right, Andy? So, well, I don't. That's all I know. So then I can point to Andy when it's wrong.
We all point to Andy. when it's
That's the
wrong.
point.
Any other questions for Erica? All right, all in favor of the director's report, say aye. Opposed? So carries. No old business and no new business, Erica? All right.
No, sir.
And just so everyone knows, I kept the order. I'm gonna change it up every quarter.
Oh,
For Bill, for his reporting purposes. It makes the life easier for him on Smooth, so we'll change up the order. It's not gonna stay that way.
No, I like it that way.
Huh?
I like it that way.
I know, but I don't wanna have Matthew last all the time.
Save the best.
Well, okay, if that's how you wanna feel, I don't
Oh,
mind.
no, I have so little to share today.
All right, East Lake Library monthly financial report. Get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve Erica Picard.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it, Bill Westwood.
All right. Any questions, comments, discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? So carries. Director's report, motion to approve.
Bill Westwood, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
Erica Picard will second.
any additions, Lois?
Well, the axe has fallen. Okay. Passports are no more. We received a deactivation letter from the Department of State, stating that, because we are nonprofit, we had a cease and desist order that became effective February 13th. I have to say the last week was a scramble. Okay, we squeezed in as many passports as we could. This is devastating, not just for the money part, for the revenue part, but also for the community and the surrounding areas. I did some research, okay, and it turns out that we are the only library in Florida doing passport services that has received the cease and desist order simply because of our nonprofit status. And there is no desire, probably on the part of our congressional people, simply because we are only there are only 5 libraries in all of Florida that are nonprofit. Okay? And we are the only one of the 5 that does passport services. So therefore, there is probably no incentive, whereas you look at Pennsylvania, 85% of them are nonprofit. And that is why the House resolution came through Pennsylvania. But it is going through, the House resolution is going through Congress, taking its normal pace. So we can only hope that if that goes through, that we will eventually be able to reinstate passports. But it had a dramatic impact immediately. We stand to lose this year because we were doing passports for part of the year. We still stand to lose about $30,000 in revenue, which was already included in our budget. And of course, now doing our preliminary budget for FY 2027, we had to remove $40,000 in anticipated revenue. However, okay, we move onward and upward. We did submit our MSTU application for the 2 self-checkouts. It has to go through a new process now. So I have put Anne Marie's name on the application as the contact person going forward, since this probably will not happen if we are approved until late summer. The transmittal memo to the county The preliminary one is ready. I included it in the packet to give you an idea of how we present it each year. I will have to make adjustments to the money. I've already done that for the passports, but for the other parts of it, because we've already received some updates from OMB. So, but it's just to give you an idea of what we're working on now, and I'm trying to get everything done ahead of time. Working with Anne Marie so that everything is ready and it's not all dumped in her lap when I retire at the end of the month, end of next month. One thing I have to say that we have been doing with the staff, and it will culminate with Staff Development Day, is we have been going off-site to other libraries that have undergone either renovations or are brand-new libraries. And it has been wonderful because the transparency and honest and open input from their staffs and their directors has really helped us to know the do's and don'ts as we go through the design phase with the architectural firm. They are in the process, the county, of working with the architectural firm of choice, which we still cannot announce because they're still negotiating on the proposal. Okay, but I want to give you one example. When we went to Safety Harbor Library, it's 3 different groups, we've gone 3 different times. They pointed out that the contractor and the architect decided on a, I don't want to say substandard, but the cheapest elevator company that they could get. And since it's opened in June, the 2nd floor, they've had 3 times where it's broken down. One of those times they actually had to bring the fire department in to carry a woman out and down the stairs. So, okay, these are the kinds of things we know going forward that we have to be aware of. So it's really going to be a good effort on the part of the staff to be able to do these visits, and they feel there's a buy-in from them, their input, that they see different design ideas that they would want or not want. So that's it. I did want to show you that we have our newest newsletter out, which is for March through May.
Oh, I couldn't read it yet because I would cry.
Well, I cry when I read it. You may not, you may say hooray.
Heartless.
Oh, well.
Basically.
Basically, yes.
It's a nice tribute.
Yes, Dan, please.
I'd like to make a motion that I personally represent the FIXA board to draft a letter to Congresswoman Luna and Congressman Bilirakis to request that they sign and sponsor the HR bill to allow nonprofit libraries to be passport agents.
I was gonna cover that underneath old business, but okay.
I'll second that.
Yeah,
Phil
motion-
Phillips.
Motion in a second.
Oh,
That's
can he bring
okay.
his own motion? Okay.
Yeah, motion.
Yeah, as Lois did, the state of Pennsylvania, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is the one pushing this. And we're gonna get lost, and it's not a priority for our congresswoman to really do anything. Because it's just, we're one drop, but it's important to us, so I see no other path. They've ignored our previous request to get involved, but this might be a lot easier for them just to sign an existing legislation that's being pushed through.
Just a sidebar, can't we just set up a separate corporation? Pay taxes on it, because I could do a small corporation and make sure the charter, all the money goes back to you.
It's not nonprofit. It has to be a government entity.
They have to be government
Yeah, they have to be
employees.
government employees.
Okay.
So, like I said, we have all of our hopes in that one House resolution. And it does have bipartisan support it's already co-sponsored. I think there's 13 co-sponsors already, and it's over 6 states.
I have a question. Why do you guys both not do that? The passports,
Well-
or previously have they?
Well, we applied before he did. They also, we did this in reaction to when overdue fines were taken away and we were losing a great deal of, again,
Okay.
revenue that came back into our operational budget.
Right.
When we apply, okay, what they look at is how many are within a certain area. They would not saturate an area
Oh, I
because we were
see.
in Eastlake. then.
And
they
you had
prob-
just done it before they,
Yeah, I don't, well, at that time, Gene Capola was the
Yeah,
director, and
yeah.
I don't think it was on his radar.
Yeah.
We decided to pursue it. After we did it, Dunedin Library did it, so you had one, North County, Mid County, and Gulfport had already been doing it, so we had those three within
so
Pinellas
Dunedin
County.
is doing it.
And they're not, no other library that does it is touched because they are municipal city libraries and are considered government employees,
Cause we're not, no,
because we're
Not
unincorporated, yes.
What's the
I
deal?
got you.
I know,
Okay.
stinks.
Hmm.
All right, we got two motions on the floor. Let's take care of Lois's report first, right? All in favor of Lois's report, or any other questions for Lois on her report? We go down that way. All right, all in favor of Lois's report, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carries. Dan's motion on authorizing him to write the letter on behalf of the FICSA board. We have a motion by Dan, he motioned it, Bill seconded it. Any discussion, any further discussion on that motion? All in favor of Dan writing the letter for our state representatives, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carries. And I apologize, to be federal representatives, not state. All right. Dan, when you're done, just shoot me a copy if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
You're good. All right, Palm Harbor Library, Matthew, financial report, monthly financials. Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Bill with a motion to
Mazur,
approve. Bill Mazur, motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Bill Westwood, seconded on that motion. Any discussion? All in favor? Say aye. Aye. Opposed? So carries. Director's report for Palm Harbor Library.
I'll make the motion to accept. Bill Missouri.
I'll second it too.
Bill Westwood.
All the bills.
All the bills on this one. Matthew,
All right. Just
floor's yours.
Yeah, just a few things. One, we were pleasantly surprised at the beginning of the month. We had Mr. Brad's music in, took a calculation, even though it was January 3rd, that we would get at least maybe 30 or 40 in attendance. We actually had over 70, and then we're kind of pleasantly surprised by that. I'll ask Kathy Wass to do a quick recap of our Artful Evening event, our annual event.
Our full evening was a tremendous success. We had 184 people in attendance, and it was our best year yet, where we raised over $7,000 now.
Nice.
Very nice.
Thank you very much. Let's see here, just a couple of things to look at going forward. We applied for and received some, curated clips from that Ken Burns documentary, American Revolution. And so we're partnering with the Palm Harbor Museum as part of America 250 to screen those, lead discussions, do exhibitions, and make, basically big events celebrating our nation's history. We're doing that twice. The first one of those is on March 4th, Wednesday, March 4th at 6:30 p.m. And then the second one will be June 3rd. But the one coming up is on March 4th. So please do attend. If you whether or not you can attend, spread the word. We'd love to have a full room for that. And then we do a family-friendly AceCon, which is, you may have heard of Comic-Con and things like that, but this is a more family-friendly experience, and that happens annually in March as well. And you'll see that coming up on the 7th and 8th. And so if you have anybody in your circles who like to do costuming or anything in that world of fandom, please do encourage them to participate. And there's more details on the website. And happy to share that the Palm Harbor Library was named by the Palm Harbor Chamber of Commerce as the nonprofit of the year for 2025. So part of, I've talked to the chamber director there, Matt, and he said our involvement with the 100 Years of Palm Harbor was a big part of that. And we had partnered with them in Parks and Rec and the Main Street Association and a bunch of others to kind of pull off that series of events that week and over July. And those are the main things I wanted to kind of share. If anybody has any questions about anything on the report, happy to answer any questions.
All right, any questions? All right, Motion second, all in favor to approve Matthew's report, say aye. Aye. Unopposed, so carries. And Matthew, no new business or old business, correct?
Correct.
Lois, I'm gonna digress. You don't have any new business, correct? Just the old business?
No, it was just the letter, and I
Right.
didn't know at that point if we were even going to submit it, but
Okay.
Dan thinks it's worth the shot, then yes.
Take the shot.
Okay, the only other new business which I defer to Dan is, our interviews for the director position.
Right. What we have. All right, committee reports, audit committee. Dan, you got anything?
Yeah,
new?
so I was able to obtain the last audit RFP that we submitted as an entity. So I have that. I have one that I crafted separately. So I was planning on putting together one RFP to send out to 3 or 4 audit companies to do it, but I wasn't sure how that would go. I don't know where the RFP bids should go and who's gonna be the point person on that. Seeing as I don't know if I'm supposed to be that, or if we should have Beth do it, or what.
I would probably recommend that it would go to Shelby as the point of contact to receive the bids, and then she would submit them out to us.
Okay, so then
By the
perhaps
deadline.
what I'll do is put together the RFP and the contact information of the different entities that we're gonna send it to, and then have her do it.
Yeah.
Make it all happen.
Directors, are you fine with that?
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
sounds good. And on the previous year's audit, so last year's audit, we'll have that presentation next month.
And are we?
I didn't coordinate that. I don't know. Are you asking me or?
No, I'm letting everyone know that we'll have the audit report next month. They'll be presenting it to us next month. We're getting that scheduled onto the agenda currently. Yes, Phil, I'm sorry.
Can we only contract, annually for the audit? Is there any incentive to give them a multi-year contract?
I think we just finished a 3-year.
3-year?
They usually lock the price in if we do multi-year.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought.
3-year.
Okay.
And it's smart to do.
And it was all part of the audit committee now. You
Ron.
are, I don't think.
No, it would be
Me, Ron, John.
well, Jared really now is the treasurer.
That's fine.
Sorry.
That's
Right.
Jared's really the point of contact when it comes to the actual physical audit, even though he doesn't provide anything. He is just kind of that conduit. Shelby really in the background provides everything to the auditors when they, with information that they request.
As do the directors.
Correct.
Dan,
I apologize,
Jared,
yes.
Ron, and are you on it or no?
Jared.
No, Jared is, okay, so I got this right, I just want to make sure that was captured, I didn't think you were on it anymore, I just wanted to make sure, thank you.
All right, old business. I'm gonna kind of switch it up. I'm gonna go with the director salary survey first, and then we'll go into the hiring process.
So we sent out the salary survey that was done by Mercer. If you need copies of just the actual page of the salaries, I have extra copies of that page. But I just kind of wanted to give you a rundown of how this is. So Mercer is a sister company of Marsh McLennan. They are a national company that did the salary survey, so they are well known. How they do the survey is that they use competitors' data, but they also use mostly their Mercer benchmarking. They benchmark positions throughout the United States. So it is a national survey that they use, but then they look at it state by state and they can adjust if needed. So Florida is not really a big geographical differential from what their surveys are. So there was not a lot they didn't really adjust it for Florida. They did throw in, just for your knowledge, under the appendix, there's an appendix that says geographic differentials. They did look at the Tampa Bay area, so you have that information. It's just extra information for you, so you can kind of see about that. How they do the salary survey, 80% is based on job responsibilities. So they look at the job description, they look at the revenue, and they look at full-time equivalents. They do not look at specifics. They do not look at population. They do not look at square footage. They do not look at benefits or education. When asked, I asked Mercer if this is how most salary survey companies do things, and it is the industry standard to just look at the actual salary. They're looking at the income there. So I think that they have that also in their appendix, that they're just looking at the total cash compensation. So they looked at that and they gave us their market percentiles, 25th, 50th, and 75th. One of the comments that they did make is, of course, most companies start someone when in a new job, they start mostly towards the 50th percentile. That's usually the starting salary. Of course, then you can take into, as a company, into consideration your own benefits or the education of the person applying or experience and that, so on and so forth. Just so that you know, in case you wanted to make a note, our range for all 4 directors is 85,902 to 134,651.
What was the second number? Sorry.
Sure, sorry. 134,651.
That's current.
That is current range for all 4 directors, which is pretty close to the East Lake Library ranges that were given there in the total compensation. So I just kind of wanted to give you that full scope of information in relation to the packet that was given out. Are there any questions about that? Yeah.
So the range in this new packet.
Yes.
25th percentile is the bottom of the range.
Yes.
Yes.
So
And it sounds funny because it says 25th percentile, but it's actually the starting range. It's more like a starting midpoint and high, but
okay.
yeah.
And this range is salary only, does not include benefits.
Correct. Total cash compensation. It does not also, there's a little footnote here that it doesn't include bonuses such as the holiday bonus. So those type of little bonuses are not.
Do you know if the local counterparts, unincorporated, have a benefits package that can be quantified?
So one of the things that Mercer does is they can do a benefit analysis as well for an additional fee. Our benefits, I don't know if that's worth that fee. It was $6,000 to do the compensation. I'm not sure if that would be beneficial to do. I can maybe research some of that, but I think I don't know how to, I mean, what you're looking at is, I guess, insurance costs, PTO,
This board, according
401k.
to this board's gonna be a benefit.
So, right. Yeah.
At least.
License.
I mean, you could do a calculation. It's typically, you go into that 20-25%, whatever for benefits. I'm not sure where the benefits based on the salary is. You could do something like that just to kind of baseline it. But I don't know if you need to go much further than that, to be honest with you. I don't know.
Right.
But they don't do localized. They don't do Pinellas. They wouldn't do Pinellas or West Florida or something like that. They would only do national.
They would probably do national and then probably do the same thing here where they've got
Tampa, Greater Tampa.
yeah, the greater Tampa area.
Would be interesting to do a comparison between Pinellas County and what we've been.
They've shared that information with me on their health insurance information. I haven't.
Be interesting.
I don't know I think most of their Pinellas County stuff is online, so I'm not sure how many holidays they have and how much PTO you get and so on and so forth there, but they did share their health insurance benefits. I don't know offhand what that number is, but they recently shared that.
I bet you between BJ and Chris, I bet you that somebody could figure that out relatively easy, what the percentage is. And you could just do a kind of heads up comparison there, because there's probably a gap on our side versus what the county's getting, I suspect. But I'm not sure.
Right.
That'd be interesting. Mercer does a good job too, by the way, and you selected it well, and I went through to the details of it, and I just, I did a salary survey a year ago, and this interests me to align very much to it. Mine was much cheaper, but it aligned much to it though, so I give you kudos, so I really do. Good job, good job.
Any other questions on the salary survey?
Yes. Beth, in your opinion, is this accurate?
I think that it's kind of hard to say. Obviously, Mark's position is very difficult to define because he is unique. And I kind of did some numbers. Again, you're looking at Matthew and Erica are pretty close to Lois's, and I'm just going to use their first names because it's easier for me. So Lois's is basically what we're at now. Erica and Matthew are pretty close. They're about 4% higher on the low end, and they're about 7% higher on the high end. So you're really close to that same number. Where it kind of the one that glares out is Mark. Mark is 9.5% lower on the low, and he's about 15% higher on the high. 9.5% lower than the low, and he's 15% lower than the high. So if there was any change, with Matthew or Erica, they're pretty similar to Lois's. Mark is the one that glares out where he's 9.5% and 15% lower. Like that's a huge range. And I think that's where the board needs to decide, I guess, what's your intention going forward with this? Are all 4 directors going to stay at the same range or not? And I don't know if that's a discussion for this meeting board or maybe a future topic, but.
And the only thing, if I could just jump on, it's interesting that, from a job description standpoint, typically the directors don't write their own job descriptions. You guys did. And so I'm not criticizing that, but I'm just saying, when you go through a salary survey, if you're using a job description that I wrote.
We didn't write our job.
They didn't write them, no, Beth wrote it.
Beth wrote them, but you got input from you guys, right? What's your job?
Time is now 6:45 and the library will close in 15 minutes. Thank you.
And they pulled from the prior job descriptions that Deborah Griswold had done, so. But I mean, we just
Okay,
gave out
okay,
the clip, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I
didn't write
wrote,
my own.
technically I wrote them. They gave me input and we used the old one and then we kind of went through it line by line. And then I redid them based on what their input was,
I stand corrected.
but they didn't.
When were they last?
Technically, I typed it.
When were they
Thank you.
Last month, 2 months ago.
They were just, I just wasn't sure, okay,
But we worked together.
That's fine,
Yeah.
that's fine.
You did them, did you give them, and then the directors saw everything you did?
Yes.
And the directors are confident with the job description, it correctly reflects what you do, all 4 of you?
Okay.
Dan, just to clarify my question, I'm not really concerned whether or not they are in the right range. That's a separate discussion. Do you think this new range is appropriate for this entity, for these entities?
I think, again, I will say these ranges are very close to the range that we have. So that makes me feel a lot more comfortable that it's in line, with the exception of Mark, that unfortunately that, they didn't have really even though he had a job description, they couldn't match it up with one that they had. So they had looked at like a recreation intramural director. And you can see that on here. That's what they looked at, because he's not a Parks and Rec and he doesn't have any FTEs at this current point, but they did look at also his income as well. Or revenue.
So when they say they don't take into consideration years of experience, education, et cetera, they
Right.
kind of do because he doesn't have those certifications.
So Mark does have a lot of education and he was, served as a recreational, I guess, director, is that what you want to call for the school district?
I was the athletic director for
Athletic.
Minneapolis
And
Public.
he's got certifications in that.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit difficult to say that he doesn't have the same Parks and Rec certification that Erica has.
My major was in health, physical education and recreation.
And so he's got more from that.
Kind of blown away that that's not considered into a salary for someone. I mean, I guess you come in at a higher pay and you take it or you leave it, but I just think that's
I
interesting.
think the topics on a salary survey are really controversial, because one could argue education, one could argue benefits, one could, yes, I agree with you there, like 100%, different topics, but they don't.
Yeah, I
I
almost,
don't know how
I
to.
almost feel like we should find out what these ranges are, and then, you know, when you hire that person, you go based on like years experience and education, and you get points for whatever, like, we should come up with some kind of, you know.
Yeah, when you look at the quartiles across it, I mean, there's gaps, there's gaps. I mean, for Matthew, he's been here for X number with education, he's barely tweaking that first quartile. And Mark is the same, similar situation.
But
So
when,
you-
oh yeah,
So you kind of look at that, where should we be? We got somebody brand new coming in for your position. I mean, is it gonna be the 50th quartile? Is it gonna be 25? What's kind of our strategy going forward? Where should it be? To maintain our, you know, because we should pay.
well, that's what I'm saying, if someone comes fresh out of like high school and they're applying for her position, that's very different than
Right.
someone,
Yeah.
you know, that's had 30 years experience coming into her position.
And
That's
again,
very
But
different.
So the three things are job description, revenue, and full-time equivalents. And, you know, I think the thing is it's gonna start, certain entities are gonna start making more revenue than others, just with additions on, that are happening.
Right.
So at different times, with that. So I think that the salary survey should be done, you know, probably once every 3 years to make sure that we're on target. Because they could change in the next 3 years, all 4 entities could change drastically.
Well, yeah, and I feel like, you know, with the way the economy has shifted in our area, I mean, it's hard for someone that's been in their position for how long. You can't just start giving them a lot less because it's bad now, or a lot more because it's good now, or more expensive to live here. I mean, it's just tricky. I feel like this is tricky.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up because I had asked Beth when this was brought out as our HR person, okay, for somebody new coming in, okay, the recommendation is not the 25th percentile, but based on experience and, you know, educational background and all, it's 50th. So that I felt more comfortable about, you know, hearing that from her because, you know.
And Mercer also said that.
Yeah, also came out of Mercer.
You're right, you go to 50th, but then you look at a guy that's doing it right now, that's barely the 25th quartile.
Mhm.
That's what the gap is, guy, let's face it.
In the what? Sorry, I
He's
guess.
barely he's clearing about the 25th quartile. So if Mercer's saying you should be higher at the 50, we underhired Matthew coming in his position.
Well, hold on a second though, before, wait.
Hello.
We didn't have this salary survey, so that,
That was a point of reference.
but it's a bad point of reference because Matthew was brought in at the range that it was currently at when Matthew was brought in. And it was an agreement of the Friends and his advisory board at what his salary as well as approved by this board. So it wasn't anything else. This being done, we're not saying that we're gonna adjust anybody's salaries today. This is going to be used for future, for hiring and for what we're going to discuss in a workshop on the merit raises and for the directors. So that's what this data is going to be used for.
I mean, it's like when I was promoted to director 15 years ago, I got whatever the minimum was, 50,000 or 50, I didn't even, it wasn't 50th percent. There were no quartiles, there was no, and the salary range was kind of a joke at that point. So again, you can't go backwards. We just have
No,
to
we
move
can't,
forward.
and that's why we had decided to have Beth do this. So we have data going forward. Yes, Dan.
I'd like to make a motion that we take this and make it a codified as our new salary range.
So for clarification, are you saying for salary ranges per entity? Because every entity has a different salary.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was clarified.
That could be our new salary.
Okay. So we have a motion to accept the salary ranges as provided by Mercer by entity. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna get a second.
I'll second the motion.
Can I ask the question just so I understand?
Absolutely.
So that means what I'm looking at, all four directors would have a separate salary range.
Correct.
Okay, just so I'm just clear.
Yeah. Because each director, because again, this is based on.
Based on job description,
On job
revenue,
description,
number of
correct.
FTEs, correct?
And just to clarify, we're looking basically at page 4 on that compensation
Correct.
spreadsheet, correct? Just want to make sure.
Lowest it
Yeah.
could be, and this is the highest.
South.
This is the
So,
lowest.
Parks and Rec,
10,140.
entity would be 89 on low end and 144.
Anymore.
That's the range. Doesn't mean they have to be in there.
Right, that's the range. That just means that that's where it falls.
And the reason why I made the motion is just so that we can move forward. I think we need to go forward and just start making decisions and have some math behind it. So that the next time we have a compensation discussion,
Right.
we have a point of reference that's intelligent.
Correct. And that was the exercise, that was the reason for this exercise.
So
Yeah.
if I may, what's the high end for Mark? 115
Yes, on the Mercer survey, yes,
and the low end 78,
correct,
and he's at 111 now.
correct. His
So,
current range now is 85.9 to 134.6,
so we're technically dropping his
correct.
top end.
If this,
It's tough, but
And then that puts him at the high end of his salary,
correct.
for the Mercer, yes.
which we're saying it's unfair because of his job description and we weren't sure how it related. So are we confident with this salary range?
So again, I think Mercer looks at job description, revenue, and full-time equivalent.
Okay.
And so the thing is though he does those three things, I think he said he's comfortable, I think, with the job description, but you know, when you look at his revenue and he doesn't have any full-time staff at this point,
Understood.
so.
Yeah, it's the revenue that makes a big difference for him. It's not you, they're not looking at him, they're looking at the position.
The position,
Yeah.
right?
I think the revenue they had in the packet, they have it. His revenue is 1.1 million. Lois is the next at 1.56.
I'm just gonna say the obvious, okay? To me, the obvious to me is I've got Eastlake Rec wanting to give Mark a raise.
The time is now 6:55 and the library will close in 5 minutes. Thank you.
I got Eastlake Rec wants to give Mark an increase in his salary. Correct?
Correct.
Correct. If we approve this salary range, you're already maxing out almost. So why would we even consider it? So whatever Mercer puts in front of us, we paid them to put it in front of us to give us an educated salary range with their experience. Just because they did it doesn't mean that's the salary range we have to lock it into, which I understand where we're going here and we've got to have something, but are we ready to lock that in tonight and say that's what it is? Because then that tells me that Mark's at the high end of his salary range.
I have a question, since he's already kind of grandfathered in as a director though, does it like apply to him?
I think that but the thing is that Eastlake Advisory Board, and please tell me if I'm going overboard here, is looking at his salary compared to his salary range as it is now.
Right.
And so that's what they've looked at. And so with that, I think they're looking into recommending him to have some type of increase.
Yeah.
With this, he would be, he's grandfathered in, so he would be at the high end, but I can't see that going over that range,
So-
even no matter.
So even though
still in the range.
since he's already a director, he wouldn't be grandfathered into the previous salary range.
Right.
That's not the way
Because
you've
then
done
all
it
of
in
them
the
would be.
past.
But can we not,
Whatever
we
you change.
can't do that?
You can do whatever you want.
I mean,
The other thing for those of you that weren't on the board previously is that the previous director of the Palm Harbor Library was maxed. And correct me if I'm wrong, Phil, but there was bonuses given to Gene, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 because he was maxed and couldn't go any higher.
Well, some of that was he asked for it
To defer.
To be deferred,
Right.
right. So there is that option on top of that.
mhm.
But that would be a discussion during our workshop too, on how we want to move forward with this and the review process.
Yeah, because I think it would be very unfair to max him out. He's only $4,000 away from that, so I think that would be really unfair.
The only thing we gotta be careful with, though, if you hire somebody, if this is what they quantified, is what the ranges are. We're saying we're not doing it, then you can throw every one of these out then. And so how do we justify a different salary? The thing that bothers me with Mark's area especially, it's, you've got more than compensation. It's all the activities you're doing, all the people, all the things that you're supporting. How do we bring attention to that? That's not in this equation at all. And so I don't know, just from an HR side of it, I would be really nervous if we just paid X number of dollars and do a quantified study. We're saying one of the ones we're throwing out.
Well, I think,
If we change job description and reevaluate it, I got it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a problem with that, but if you just say, no, we're not gonna follow it, and we're just gonna grandfather him in, then, it just sets all of us up for
We're
an
back to
interesting.
square one. As
Yeah.
far as I'm concerned, our board's looked into this independently of this study. And a couple of guys on our board went out and did some paperwork on their own. And made some phone calls and did some studies. And it goes back to what we hired Mark at to begin with. If we'd have hired him at the correct amount at the time, he would have been further along, and we've had the same discussion, right? So now, I mean, I don't mind if we table this and we had as you were saying, have our workshop and discuss it a little bit more. But I think to vote on it right now and to lock him in at some set point right now isn't fair. And that's been our whole discussion forever, that we don't think he's, being compensated fairly, and it's not his fault. The county keeps doing away with all of our ways of.
The time is now 7:00 and the library is closed. We'll reopen again tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
They've done away with all of our ability to generate revenue. We can't go forward. We're doing everything we can with what we get from our yearly budget and trying to save money.
I mean, I feel like this is a fair compensation thing, but it's the person that I'm seeing too. I'm not seeing just the job for future reference. I'm seeing the person that's been working their butt off for a long time in this position. And so I think it is very unfair to lock him into this number unless there's a workaround to grandfather in compensation to go above that. I don't know how many more years left you have, but I mean, but like, as far as like, if someone new were to come in, I don't think that that's super crazy low either. I think that that is a decent number. I see that as a decent number. I just don't like it for him specifically.
It's for unfair and consistent policies. By changing it, you're setting yourselves up for a potential lawsuit, guys. I mean, from an HR standpoint, you can willy-nilly this stuff, but I'm telling you, if you're singling out some range, doing it differently without it coming back with a job description or something different, well, I'm telling you, I would just be extremely nervous doing it.
Wait, Bill, how do we change the job description then and get a fair job description?
I would go back and just reevaluate the job description.
Okay, so do we do that and not lock it in tonight?
I mean,
I don't think locking it in tonight's fair.
That would make sense to me, not locking it in. It would also make sense to me if we feel that your responsibilities are not reflective in the pay and the range and the job description between the advisory board yourself, just working, what is that job description? And does that change significantly? Then go back and just see, does that affect the salary range at all? I mean, we certainly feel better doing that than not. A library director is not in the same salary range. It's just interesting. Parks and Rec not in the same, is just interesting to me. Yes, there are job differences, but how significantly are they different?
But again, remember, it's full-time equivalents, revenue, and job description. So there's three pieces that are taken into this.
Understand.
So the three pieces amongst library and Parks and Rec are completely different, especially when it comes to full-time equivalents and revenue coming in. So in that sense, Beth, question, if, right, we were to work on Mark's job description, can we go back to Mercer with just his for reevaluation?
It costs you.
Can you find out that cost, please?
Well,
I'm just throwing it out there just because of the conversation, so.
isn't our job, fix this job. It's our job, our only job is to watch over the financial well-being of our entities and how we do that. This is one of the things we're responsible for, and then the things you spend. We get lost in the weeds a lot over the last couple of years with other things that have just kind of gotten out of control, but we're responsible for the financial. We are told by, our charter that our fiduciary responsibility is to make sure we're spending the county's money correctly. Okay, this is one of them. Funny thing about us locking in a salary tonight can be changed next month because it can be brought back and we can vote on it again. And then the following month, we could vote on it again. It's not wise to do something like that, but we could. We change policies from month to month sometimes because we vote on it, but we vote on it and we get a majority vote, and that's what changes it. And that's why we had to have the book that we had that kept track of all of our changes and all of our updates. So I don't agree in locking something in. I thought we would take it to a retreat in Cabo and discuss it. And the other thing is, I don't see that it's our responsibility to write their job descriptions. HR does that, but I think it's their advisory board. It's their entities are responsible to make sure the job description's right. I hear we're talking right now. We aren't happy with the job description. To the way it relates to the salary.
Mark was hired as a Parks and Rec director. He wasn't hired as an intramural director.
Okay, so your entity needs to bring to the FICSA board a new job description that explains his job 100% correctly. And if you've done any research and you want to lobby for a different salary range, then you need to bring that back to us, as I would be expected to do for Erica, or, the Friends of the library boards would bring back and give to us as well. It's not our job to chase that down. It's your job, my job as a advisory board representative.
I didn't say it wasn't our job.
I agree.
Okay, I'm just sitting here trying.
Why does it say on page 3, there's like those dashes for, Palm Harbor Parks and Rec, but then under for Mark, it's Recreation Intramural Director.
Sure, because that's what the data survey that they had, that's what it matched. And so you can kind of see under.
Based on what he said he does? or-
Yeah, so
No, that's all they could come up with.
Yeah, but
No,
Eric
based on the
doesn't have
job
anything
description.
though. Yours doesn't have anything.
Right, because my job description,
It's only
max-
those things.
no, it matches what they have in their data as a Parks and Recreation Director. If you Google right now, Erica, Parks and Rec Director, you're gonna find words that are in my job description. When they put Mark's job description, and Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, you sat with Beth like I sat with Beth and worked on your job description and told her what you did. We paid Beth hours worth of time to work on all our job descriptions. She went out to other entities. If I'm wrong, guys, chime in. And talked to other HR departments and got library director descriptions, Parks and Rec director descriptions. And then she talked to each of us, because I'm sure what I do in Palm Harbor as a Parks and Rec director is very different than Dunedin or Safety Harbor, or because they have what they call leisure services directors, and they have a parks department and they have a recreation department. We're not that fortunate to have that big of a department, so we do both in one. So that's why the dots are there, because what data, then they put it in their system, that's what it matched. was
Which was nothing.
a intramural director.
Oh,
Whatever that
it's
means,
the
and I-
Same as over here, over
Right,
here.
I would have to look it up because I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
that
'cause
makes
I mean,
sense.
Yeah, because Mark's under the survey matches his Parks and Rec director.
That's
but
because that's the
like
title on his job description, as is mine.
And if you compare Mark's and Erica's job descriptions, they are really close. There are some, different things. But again, Erica has quite a few more FTEs and does a lot more revenue.
Yeah,
than-
I mean, the
than Mark
revenue
does.
is double, more than double. $1.5 million more.
I don't have any buildings. I
Right.
can't provide.
That's what we're
Right,
saying.
and that's why
I
I'm
can't
saying,
provide service.
I get that, the job itself, it's just a person, and that doesn't sit well with me. So he made the motion.
I was gonna say, I was gonna circle back. Any other discussion on the matter? Because we do have a motion and a second on the floor.
And the only ones that vote for salary is the four entities that work for the county commission, right? So it's you, Erica.
No,
Jerry.
we're not, no.
No,
Because
if you're voting on salaries or pay ranges, it's all of us?
it's because we are setting ranges, not setting salaries.
If you were voting on the individual persons,
Then it would only be the four.
then that restriction was.
Trying to clarify.
Correct.
that's
Yeah,
all.
no. All six of us here. This is just
So is
policy.
the motion to accept that Mercer is going to set the range, or is it that we're accepting this, that they wrote down as the range?
This, Dan, correct?
Correct.
So it is what is presented is the range. Now, as Phil stated, we can change it, and nothing's going to happen with this until basically November anyways. Okay? In other words, next month, we're not going to be voting to give our directors raises. This information won't be utilized. It'll be used during our review process in November.
And if this gets voted down, he can't redo another
Sure we
motion for
can.
this next month, can he?
Absolutely, absolutely we can.
Yeah, that's my point. It can change next month.
Right.
It can change in 2 hours. Did we stay in that?
But I don't want
To God, we don't.
Thank you.
No, thank
Thankful
you.
of that.
Yes, Dan.
The only other point I want to make, building on Erica and the revenue issue, is I see having the salary range tied to revenue as a conflict. Because if I was a director, I'd start charging, I'd raise charge for the summer. You know, you could charge so much more, but I'm glad you don't. That's why it's so popular. And that's not the goal of this entity, is to make money and raise revenue. So of course, your range is gonna be so low if we use revenue as the judge. You're in full-time equivalents as the
Right,
judge.
I mean, it's just, you're providing a service.
Right.
This is not a revenue making
Right,
enterprise.
right.
A lot of times you're looking at the overall budget. What is my budget for my entity? And you're driving it. How many people typically that has a play into it?
But your
Right.
budget is established by your millage. It's only
No,
the additional
understand,
things that
understand.
people are doing to bring in more money that are able of doing it. But really, you're given a millage.
But you're
That's-
managing that.
Right.
That's what it is.
You're managing the money, you're fiduciary.
Managing tax dollars, that's what you're doing.
You don't.
All right, so with a motion and a second, any other discussion? All in favor of locking in the salary ranges as presented, say aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Aye, okay. The opposed carries, so we will not be locking in the salaries as presented by Mercer at this time.
So when are we having that?
I haven't gotten there
Okay.
yet, slow down.
I didn't know if we needed to
Slow
make a
down,
motion.
slow down. I have to go back
Get
now
on the
to the
calendar.
PHCSA entity director hiring process.
So with the hiring process, we passed out the policy last month. There was some discussion on it. There were no further comments, within this last month from any board members. So I just made, some changes, based on that last meeting, which in, 4.2.4, due to that sunshine law, the PHCSA representative, on that advisory board would not be present during the interview. So it's just the advisory chairperson with HR in attendance. The other one that was changed was 4.2.7. One candidate or multiple candidates, when applicable, may be approved to advance to the FICSA interview. I believe 4.3.7 also had something in regards to the FICSA rep that was on the advisory board, and I just put it that the advisory board chairman. Lastly, I clarified 4.3.14 in regards to your formal vote. That the last sentence, the voting on salary shall follow the rules of Article 4, Section 2 of the FICSA bylaws. That is also written somewhere else in the bylaws, that's the process. So whatever that process is, because it is the salary. Those were just the changes that were made.
Any additional questions on the hiring process? Yes, Dan.
Regarding the not involving the representative from the entity that's in the hiring process, I would recommend we change that to no board member is involved in the hiring process.
So it doesn't
Actually-
specify that? I'm sorry,
No,
directly?
no. Actually, we had discussed it in the last board meeting.
Mhm.
If the meeting is properly noticed, then the fixer representative can sit in on that meeting.
Correct.
As long as it's properly noticed.
Right, so it just says the first round is conducted by at minimum the advisory chair with HR. That's the first round of in-person ones. So it doesn't even, it doesn't.
No, I was
even say
referring to
anything like that.
4.2.4.
Any mention of FICSA.
Right, doesn't
Okay,
have any
okay.
mention of FICSA in
Yeah.
that one at all. It's not until you get into, the board, then with the notice and all of that is in there.
Okay, that's good.
That's in there.
The other issue or idea that I am going to suggest is on the interview process that we require the entity outgoing director to be involved.
It does say, oh, sorry.
And if that person is unavailable, then another director is involved, ideally from the same like entity. So, for example, if Lois is retiring, she should be involved in the interview process. If she's getting fired or just runs away, then Matthew would be the preferred person to be there.
I thought that's correct.
Right, I just wanted to make that clear. But that doesn't mean that either Erica or Mark can't be involved. It's just someone should be, there should be an adult.
Similar responsibility.
That's what I'm saying.
And Lois was in on one of my interviews, which was helpful.
Yeah.
So that would be 4.2.4, the second sentence.
Yes,
Participation by the outgoing director and or friends is encouraged when feasible. I could put and or other entity, other equivalent entity director?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
It doesn't really have to be that because, yes, I mean, if you're hiring to be a director of the library, then obviously the other director of the other library has good input, but also the director of the recreation departments, because of the way FICSA works, has input because the new employee or the new hire needs to know how we work. So
So I could
there's
just
a
put
benefit for both. So
entity director instead of equivalent.
Mhm.
So it'd be participation by the outgoing director and or other entity director and a board, or friends of the board member is encouraged when feasible.
I'm just saying that I would make it not encouraged, but mandatory. That's my recommended change on that.
I also have a question. I know 4.2.7 said one candidate or multiple candidates, when applicable, may be approved to advance to the FICSA interview. Is there a way to not just have just one and possibly have multiple options? They can be rated by the advisory board as like, this is our top pick, second pick,
So-
third pick.
Purposely left that open, so that you weren't tied to a number where you had to have three candidates.
Okay.
So it did say multiple candidates when applicable, because just to give you an example, for East Lake Library, there were no other candidates that applied. So they only have one candidate to look at.
Okay.
Had more candidates applied, then we could have had that, but I don't want to put in there 3. And then now I'm just stuck because I only have 1. So that's why I put multiple candidates when applicable. So if another position opens up, we could give you multiple
And you could do
applicants.
it, change the language the opposite way. Say multiple candidates or one candidate went out.
I could do that.
Yeah, that could.
So the intention is to have multiple.
More
but
than it's
No.
an.
Mhm.
Because ideally, if you meet the requirements, you may have more people. People don't meet the requirements. you can
Right.
Yeah, we don't need to review 15 of them,
Right,
but
that's because-
I don't know.
Well, and that's why we have HR, and that's why we have the setup that we have
right.
for the for the preservation of time. I mean, think about if we brought in 3 candidates to this board to interview. You guys complain that we go over an hour and a half? I'm being serious with this, guys. I mean, I
But would
agree
this
with it.
be
if
at a
it's-
normal board meeting or?
Yes, it would be at a normal board meeting because it has to be noticed if we are making a decision.
It could also be a workshop.
Yeah, that's what I was
Workshop.
wondering if it
I
was a
agree. It
workshop.
has to
I
be
don't
a
think it needs to be.
You
in front
can't
of-
vote at a workshop.
Correct.
You can
We
interview.
can't vote at a
But we can
workshop
bring our
first.
recommendation to the next board
Right,
meeting.
Right, you could do a workshop, let's just say hypothetically at 4:30 and have a voting meeting at 6.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do
You
that.
could do that.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
so I mean.
absolutely.
Sure.
No, but I
It
mean.
ain't gonna
I
happen,
think
for
the
sure.
workshop gets you out a lot more questions, though. There's not a time rush and you're bringing one at a time and you got to your 20 questions you're
You
gonna
don't,
ask.
yeah, you don't have like a ton of people that are sitting here now.
Right.
Well, you, if a public meeting, you're
It's a
gonna.
Well, they
public.
give.
Yeah,
you
even the
all
workshops are
jammers
public
now.
meetings.
I'm-
They're public
I'm not
meetings,
so
but they don't
dumb.
have the right to, the public only has the right to observe. They don't have the
Right,
right to
right,
say
exactly.
anything.
Correct.
During the workshop.
And there's no vote or anything else like that. There can be an agreement and a recommendation, but there can be no vote. The vote would occur at the actual physical notice board meeting. No, I'm sorry, I interrupted. Yes, Dan, I'm trying.
Beth, can you quickly just repeat 4, I think there's 4 changes that you're recommending?
Yes, so 4.2.4 will read, the first round of in-person interviews shall be conducted at a minimum. The advisory chair with HR. At a minimum, the advisory chair,
With HR.
the outgoing director, and/or other entity director with HR in attendance. Participation by a Friends board member is encouraged when feasible. To avoid conflicts of interest, no subordinate of the candidate may be present during the interview. 4.2.7, multiple candidates, one candidate when applicable may be approved to advance to the PHCSA interview. 4.3.7, introduction of the candidate. The advisory board chairman presents the recommended candidate's background, qualifications, and the positive outcome of the previous interviews. That part changed. 4.3.14, formal vote. The process concludes with a formal motion to appoint the candidate, followed by a vote by the governing board. The voting on salary shall follow the rules of Article 4, Section 2 of the PHCSA bylaws. Those are the 4 changes.
And just to clarify, that first round of interviews is not everybody, it's pre-selected. Right, there's a filtration process before the first round.
So the first round, that is up a little bit further, that HR will, it's 4.2.1, HR will sort by fully meeting possible job description elements. And then the second one, I will have gone through their applications and present that then to the advisory and schedule those. I would schedule them based on my interpretation for the advisory.
Any other questions? Yes, Dan.
Yeah, can I ask a question? You saying that our board has no feedback into who gets hired?
Your board,
Yeah,
you don't. Your board does. You vote on it at the
The
end.
fix a representative, all right, hold on. So to clarify, the fix a representative, because you would be a voting person on this.
I get it. I'd be the same thing that Dan was in his group.
Correct.
I get
So,
that, but
so you could be involved in the process, but those meetings must be noticed,
that's correct.
properly noticed. If that's the case, then you can partake. If they're not, you cannot partake.
But the rest of the board can.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, from where that's-
We rely on
Yeah.
them for
So it's
this.
with the advisory chair, and then you have the outgoing director, and you have a Friends board member. So, well, Friends board member, or, so who's on your advisory chair? Who's on your advisory chair? Like, do you want your entire board?
No.
And who's,
Well,
do you have a
we're working
Friends?
on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then that would be Friends.
Hopefully we'll have it
I
soon.
mean, we had our whole board deal, Mark.
The entire advisory board did that. Right now, it just has HR in the advisory board, and then if Mark would be there, so it'd be those.
Well,
three.
11 years ago.
Yeah. Back when things were easy.
Yes, it's 15 years ago. We have 5 of them.
I just noticed something, it may simply be a matter of semantics, but, the way, the chain of command is structured, okay? The HR coordinator, okay,
We weren't part of it.
we are her bosses, okay? So I think on that very last sentence on 4.2.4, to avoid conflicts of interest, no entity subordinate of the candidate may be present during the interview. Because HR might be considered a subordinate.
Good point.
That is a good point. That's a valid point.
Just to, I'll put that no entity coordinate, just to,
Entity, right.
yeah, and it, just to kind of piggyback off of that, it says I'm in attendance. I didn't add, I didn't have an opinion or vote on
No,
anything.
no, we asked her to sit in.
All right, with that input, any other questions, input, or anything else? So with that, that's gonna update the new changes that we have. So we are going to, I would like to hold a workshop to finalize this. Get it all said, done, and off the table. So that way we can vote on it appropriately in our March meeting and adopt it. Yes, Dan?
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt it with the changes that were just described. Today.
Can I get a second?
Second.
I don't think that we're
No, I'm
gonna,
good. I'm with
I
you.
don't think we're gonna have any changes beyond what we just talked about, but if you guys wanna have a workshop on it, that's fine. I'm just trying to save everybody some time.
By the way, Bill seconded that.
Thank you, Phil.
And you know, actually, when you go through the process, you may want to make changes
Yeah.
down the road.
Right.
So there's nothing
As you
wrong with
use it.
doing that. You know, so once you go through it, you may say, okay, this didn't work, or we should have added this or removed that. So you can do that anytime.
All right, any other discussion? Have a motion?
Last day is when, sorry?
March 27th,
March 27th, when's our next one?
March 18th.
March 18th.
Well, we need to discuss that because that's right in the middle of spring break.
It's only 7.
March 18th, because.
He quote me on it.
I got you.
She's not a lame duck yet. She will be after the next week. Then she's a lame duck.
You don't have to accept her.
I am.
Retired.
All right, motion second. Any other discussion on adopting the director's hiring process as amended? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We have a process in place.
Thank God.
Yay, so the issue date, Beth, would then be today. Okay. All right,
When you're done, Beth, send me the copy, I'll get it into the manual.
Okay, great.
so then my question is, so that way, so I was wanting to think about doing a workshop to go over this, but if we're good, to have that done. And then there is a point in time where we do need to discuss the director merit increases. Based on the information provided with the salary survey, do we want to hold off for a couple of months on that, or do you guys want to take care of that sooner rather than later?
Did we already approve the SMART goals?
No. Pretty sure we're 6 months into the fiscal year.
Yeah.
Don't have a goal approved.
So, I mean,
Then let's,
think we're
then let's
happy.
hold a workshop to go over the SMART goals.
Well,
And we can do the criteria for merit increases at that point in time. So that way it's locked solid as to what we are evaluating for the director's merit increases.
I mean, are we allowed to combine it with the salary conversation as well?
Absolutely. Workshop, we can talk
Any
anything.
special called meetings can only be one subject.
Correct. But this is a
Workshop
workshop.
can be any-
We can talk about any number of things. We just can't vote. on.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Can't vote on it.
Do we want to, again, do we want to have this be prior to the next meeting? Or do you want to wait and push this off to like April or May?
I mean, I don't think we should push this off any longer.
But
There's
again,
SMART
nothing's,
goals that they're working
well,
on
that's true
right
too.
now.
Okay, so,
The compensation side of it though, if you guys are gonna be working on marks.
but no, Bill, it's already dead. So it's a conversation we'll have at the workshop to lock anything in. So if they're working on something else, they have time to work on that.
But I thought we were gonna go back to Mercer and get a price.
Yes, that's gonna find out about adding that if we do an update, but that's a conversation we'll have at the workshop. She'll give us the information, but it's gonna be based around Beth's knee surgery that she has scheduled that was supposed to be last week, but now is pushed up. Do we have an idea when?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. So with that being said, our next meeting is scheduled for the 18th of March, which again is during spring break. Do we want to hold this on the Thursday, the 12th? To get everything finalized and go through everything? Or would you rather do it the week prior?
When we also have the workshop, so I thought.
That is the workshop we're
Oh.
talking about. No. We're talking about when do we want to have the workshop?
Oh, okay, I think that
Do we want to do it on the 5th, 12th, 4th, 11th?
Yeah, the
kind of all
11th
over
is
the place.
good.
11th, so there's advisory for
Oh,
both.
the 11th, there's an advisory, okay.
Fifth works for
Yeah.
me.
Why don't we do the 5th?
Sorry, you're talking about March 5th?
Yes.
Do you need a
March
room?
5th, good for everyone? Yeah, we'll need a room.
We
I
have
don't-
availability if you
I
need.
don't think I can do some fit.
I can't.
What about the 12th?
Okay, 12.
That's when the workshop.
I'm good with that. Bill, does that work for you? Dan?
Hey,
No? Bill?
do you want me to have something in 2 weeks? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not asking for that.
Just asking.
You're
Just asking.
good. You're good.
Who knows?
Dan-
Yeah, Dan needs to be at the meeting, so I want to make sure that everyone can be there.
Waiting.
I'm not stuck on a Wednesday, Thursday, guys. We can do it on a Tuesday.
It was March 12th, okay?
No,
Dan
Dan
can't
can't
make the 12th.
can't make there. How about the 10th? The Tuesday,
No,
okay,
that's our board meeting.
all right then.
The 3rd.
We do the Saturday.
Third I can do, but I have jury duty early, but I can be there.
I cannot do the 3rd.
I know they won't, trust me. They can call every flipping year.
I mean, what about next week? Okay,
I'm good next week, if anybody else is.
okay,
No, don't do it Wednesday.
Thursday, the 26th.
Thursday.
Do either Wednesday or Thursday.
Dan, Thursday, the 26th.
Thursday, the 26th, I have to be at the library for an HOA meeting. That's 6, so I could do after that. I don't know what time you guys want to meet. What time were you thinking? Evening?
Yeah, oh yeah. We all gotta work during the day, at least some of us.
No, Thursday, the 26th does not work. Wednesday, the 25th, or Tuesday, the 24th.
I'm good Tuesday, the 24th, Bill.
How many days?
Tuesday or Wednesday.
We're giving you the time on, it's a workshop,
The
so
workshop.
we need 7 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Online.
All right, well, if we did the 24th, that would mean we need to be noticed today.
I can notice it from here, so
Perfect.
Tuesday, the 24th.
Tuesday, the
works, we can do
24th
it.
work, Eric?
And I have room.
Eric?
Looks like it worked.
I'll skip my son's baseball game. No big deal.
Oh, you're so sacrificial.
I know.
Dan? Okay. All right, so the 24th, who's got space for us?
We have space. So it doesn't matter.
We're at, okay.
At the
What,
center?
you want to do it at the center? Okay.
I'm just saying, we have rooms there.
How many fit in the?
We can do a picnic at
At the
ours.
Meadows? How many fit in the?
Get a tent.
February 24th, it's, 6 o'clock sound good, or do you guys want to push it to 6:30? 6 o'clock it is.
Just to clarify, did you want me there or not?
I think you should be.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Really?
I know you're not gonna be, it won't interfere with surgery because they won't have a schedule by then.
And they do those things early in the morning, so you'll be fine.
Right, exactly. You can hobble in, we can get you a wheelchair or something.
So when is the next board meeting?
The next board meeting, right, is scheduled for March 18th at 6 o'clock at East Lake Library. I said that 3 times already.
That's for sure date.
Don't want to change it.
It is extremely hard to change those dates.
Is it?
John?
Harder ways to make them work.
No kidding.
That's the 5 o'clock on my calendar.
Before we adjourn, okay,
We're still
Yeah.
trying to figure out when our next meeting's gonna be.
oh, okay.
Are we good on the 24th? Because I'll put it on my sign right now. for you.
Yes, the 24th of February at 6 o'clock for,
The workshop. Okay.
at the center.
Got it.
I could do the week after.
We have,
Well, they figured that out.
okay, we have followed, I kind of feel like the old man at the end of Moonstruck. I'm kind of confused. We have followed all of the process as it was outlined for the hiring of the new director, okay? And we've gone through, all of the changes and so on, okay? We have done the interviews according to the process, okay? The advisory board wants to make the recommendation. We're kind of like in limbo here. All of the budgetary things are going on, and I'm hoping that we can address that, since we have everything coming up in the next month.
I've had the conversation with Beth, and since this is all done, you
Okay.
can present at the March meeting.
Okay, we have to wait till March.
Yes.
Okay, is there anything from the board though, from the Fix-It board prior to that, that would require, any reason not to present our candidate?
I mean, it's an official decision at that time, but remember, it has already been approved that
As interim.
as interim,
And
but
there's a lot, I'm just saying, there's a lot going on now with budgets and.
I understand.
And such.
I
and
understand.
It'd help us to move along in terms of, the assistant director position as well. So, just trying to get everything done in a timely manner.
Well, I'm gonna ask the board, would you guys like to have her present their candidate for the new director for East Lake Library tonight, or would you rather wait until March?
March.
I think we should do it now. We're prepared and I have handouts and the advisory board chair is here, willing to talk.
So I'm sorry, I just.
Purpose of it
Yeah,
would
thank
be
you.
to follow,
To ratify
it would go
their
to,
candidate as the new director.
it would go to, where is it? Spot where the advisory board chairman, 4.3.7.
Here.
Fix a representative for the advisory board presents the recommended candidate. And then this way, board, we can decide if we want to have an interview or not.
Sort of makes sense at this meeting, but the only issue would be the salary component. How do we hire a new person on salary?
Well, not just that, but I thought we had to have a few options to.
If they're available. So after a conversation with HR posted the position, one person applied. Nobody else applied for the position. So
One person, okay.
the process that is being followed And only one person applied for the position,
And just to
as reported by HR.
when we did Matthew's position back, we had like 10, 12 people and we screened it down. I think it was 15. We screened it down to that 8 or 9, all met it. Then we went through a bunch of interviewing for 3 days to get it down to 3. And so we just had a ton of people inside, outside, as far as Boston. I mean, all over the country were actually positioning themselves for that position too. So it was interesting. And so then we ended up, staying local with Matthew. So that was the process, but we had a lot to choose from. You just only have one person that met the qualification, that's moving forward. So I mean, I think we're ready for that discussion.
And when you say qualifications, that's already written out somewhere? Like what are the qualifications, or is it what you?
It's in, no,
come
it's in the
up
job
with?
description, and then when we send out, we posted the position throughout the Tampa Bay area, okay? And it did have all of the criteria, okay? So I mean, you aren't gonna find too many candidates for a director's position at this point, okay? And it was well known throughout Pinellas County and so on that, we had worked with Anne Marie over the last year with the idea of a succession plan. So I think that in itself might have been a
It's great.
reason.
But we just approved the FICSA board approval process. And on that, it says proper notice, providing adequate public notice of the meeting, including the time, the location, and the specific agenda item regarding the director candidate's vetting. So per our policy, we can't vote on it tonight.
So again, I'm gonna refer to the attorney on the sunshine law, because those are the sunshine laws. I think and I'm not 100%, but I think what they're trying to say is that they would like to present the candidate, and then I'm guessing you guys interview at a future date.
That's right.
Yeah.
So they can present the
Nothing wrong with
candidate,
that, but we're not gonna vote on it tonight.
right?
Right, we would vote on whether or not we want to have an interview. Right. So you're moving the process forward.
I don't
That's all you're
That's
doing.
fine.
But it's not.
even know if there's a
On the
vote
minutes,
needed
just that
to
representative.
present.
It
somebody.
would be in the minutes that they're presenting.
Oh,
Not a vote.
that's like a new.
It's not a vote.
It's not a vote.
That's a new-
It's not a vote, it's presentation.
Right.
So Dan, present, please.
Well, if we're gonna follow the rules, it's gonna be the advisory board chair that presents. Right. Which is not me.
No, but he's sitting right over there.
Yes.
James Cuomo will come up. Here's the. Make sure Bill gets one, please. Up there. So, by the way, before he starts, I wasn't involved in any of this. Thanks, Andy. So, this was the best interview process I've ever done.
All right, James.
So I'm not really sure what's gonna be useful for you. Dan just distributed a letter that we reviewed and approved unanimously with Dan in abstention, at our last meeting. With Beth's assistance / guidance, thank you, Beth. We went through the process of vetting candidates and ultimately having an interview session, which was Beth, Lois, myself, from an advisory perspective, Joan from our foundation, and Barbara, who chairs our Friends Board. Not surprisingly, the interview process went very well. Candidate was treated fairly, presented on 3 set questions that were brought forward by Beth. She answered all the questions as would be expected. She becomes the director, we might have some opportunities to provide some feedback on it. In that regard, the letter in front of you is our formal recommendation. Per our bylaws, we are required to present a recommended candidate. So we are going to recommend what FICSA has already approved from an interim perspective, which is Anne Marie Nurnberger. Anne Marie's been with us for a year, shown a high level of competence, had the opportunity to cross-train with Lois, provides continuity with regards to the events that we have on the horizon. Most specifically, our expansion project, but certainly other things like our financial requirements for the county. At the request of HR, we've also proposed a starting salary. That is our recommendation based on the data provided, the range, and Marie's experience. It is a recommendation. Obviously, the ultimate decision rests with PHCSA. It is our responsibility as the advisory board to present the candidate, propose a recommended salary based on that candidate's qualifications. Happy to address any questions, but otherwise, I think you have the information before you. And I know you've had an opportunity to partake directly with Anne Marie through one-on-one and through board interactions. But happy to address any question.
Thank you, James. Any questions from the board?
Engaged was HR in your process?
The process, it went exclusively through HR. Beth posted, got the candidate, set the meeting, told us what time to be at the library. It was all done, according to the newly approved.
Thank you, thank you.
What website does it go out, for the listed, position?
So this went out to, the Pinellas County Library Association and internally. It was posted all internally as well.
Do you remember how many candidates applied for the assistant director position when Anne Marie was hired a year ago?
If I'm not mistaken, and Lewis, I'll look to you, I think it was
6.
6. Which
So
we
I-
vetted down to 3.
We vetted down to 3, yes.
So the assumption is, because she's been with you for the last year, that this is your successor. So it's almost like a respect in this career field to just, that's the person, right? Is that how that works?
I appreciate what you're saying, and it just so happens that that is the case, but no, it's not. Anne Marie has shown a high degree of confidence. We're very fortunate. I would be remiss if I said that when we hired her as the assistant director, we didn't see potential director in her. But the fact is she's shown her work. So in that regard, it's less respect and more the privilege of bringing her forward because she's shown a degree of confidence. It does tie in very nicely with the succession plan that we have hammered on Lois for 4 to 5 years at a minimum, right? We cross-train at the library by design. We don't, with respect to the work that was done here tonight, we don't compensate all that great when you look at a full package. We're blessed to have a good candidate for this. Just so happens it's our assistant. So the transition time should be pretty small, and I hope you'll encourage that when it's time to do her review as well. I know we certainly will. She can't use the blame it on the old guy. But she probably can, but.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
With the presentation, I'll entertain a motion to move on with the process. Was a motion or? Yeah. Yeah. To accept their submission and move on with the stated process of the entity hiring process. Sorry.
I make a motion that we move on to the board questioning and discussion. I guess that's
Fine. Thank you.
that's the next step.
That's the next.
That's the next step, yeah.
We would decide if we want to
We,
do something additional beyond what's been done.
4.3.9.
I make a motion, we move to 4.3.
And a motion, do I have a second? I'll second it. I have a second from Bill. Bill Westfield, sorry. No. It's slow on it. Any discussion?
when's the timetable of this? Could we bring this into the workshop?
We could,
Well, that,
if Anne Marie's available to come to the workshop. for the
That
interview.
would position us to vote for it.
That would be ideal. Was
That
what I
would
was
be
hoping to
ideal,
bring
yes.
forward tonight, yes.
So, yeah.
You busy the 24th?
She'll make herself.
I think we know somebody who might give her some time off.
No, probably not. Just have the
Um,
hours.
No, I know. But we have a motion and a second to move on to the process and invite Anne Marie to come to the workshop next
Can I
Tuesday.
just add, if I'm being
Absolutely.
super honest, I have so much respect and trust in you in that you have trained an amazing person to take over for you after. I do not like the fact that we only have one choice at the end of the day, though. I don't like that. I'm just throwing it out there, not for your specific situation. I'm saying in the future for other candidates that may not have a successor or whatever the case is. I don't like having one person to pick from. There's nothing, I mean, what would you do, say no? And then they just go back to the drawing board, or how does that work?
Yeah, that would be exactly
That's how
how
that
it would
works.
work. But remember, it was posted
Yeah,
and only one individual applied.
yeah.
So
Well, I know,
how
but
can we
that,
get more candidates if nobody else was interested?
Erica, let me try to explain it a little bit more, okay?
then
As you go
we'll
up,
agree
as you go up the ladder in any field, okay? The pool of candidates gets smaller and smaller, okay? Library world in Pinellas County and in this area is very small. Everybody knows everybody, okay? I think because of the fact many people know Anne Marie. She's worked at Dunedin Library, she's worked at Palm Harbor Museum and such. She has a reputation throughout the Tampa Bay area as the consummate professional. So knowing that she is already within the organization, okay, I think probably dissuaded others from applying. It wasn't the same, knowing, what happened at Palm Harbor Library, okay? There was a sudden vacancy. There was no succession plan at that time, okay? There was a sudden vacancy.
well, there was a succession plan.
Okay? Excuse me?
There was a succession plan, not a person, but there was a plan of what he wanted to see in the library. And I think that became questionable later after there was someone that was already hired. And so I think I just am wanting to prevent.
I mean, and like I said, nobody was discouraged from applying for this. I think because of the way the situation was this time, knowing that we had planned this succession, and this was a proving ground for the last year for Anne Marie.
Right.
I mean, someone else might have come in and not done well, and we wouldn't have recommended them, okay, for this position, okay? But I think, I feel very fortunate. Okay, and you say, you trust in my judgment, you trust in the job that I've done, and I appreciate that. Okay, and I assure you, it's not just a job, it's a passion. I love that library, I love the community, and I'm not gonna cry right now, but I would not turn over the reins, or I would not ask PHCSA to approve someone that I didn't feel confident in, and that my advisory board didn't feel confident in. And because of the fact that this means so much to me.
And please know that this has nothing to do with you
I know,
personally.
I know.
at
And
all.
if I had 3 candidates, I'd present 3 candidates, but we don't. And I think we have the creme de la creme of
I'm sure.
assistant directors
I'm
coming in here.
Yeah.
So.
When we advertised Matthew's position, we went to the same sources.
Mhm.
So we were fortunate, we got a litany of people coming in. And then we're just interested now with job responsibilities and stuff, maybe that changed, or who knows?
Yeah.
But when you look at that, I don't qualify, if I don't meet these, I'm not gonna put my resume as, we were fortunate to have somebody in the path, and then to your point,
And remember
Yeah.
too, as Bill is saying, the job description at that time was different than it is now for the director.
Very true.
We have tightened it up more. We're requiring more in terms of experience and related experience and education and so on, supervisor experience within a library setting. So that also narrows the pool,
Yeah,
okay?
okay, that makes sense.
A department head from another library may not be considered a candidate for a library director now,
That makes
where it might have been, 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Right. I think.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Having nobody else, all in favor of having Anne Marie come to the workshop next week for the vetting process, right? Is that where it is?
Yes.
Questioning and discussion. Vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So carries. See you
Assuming you're
next week.
available.
Can you add that, Eric, to the notice?
All I put on the board is there's a fix a meeting. I don't put like.
Okay.
Yeah. There's only so many lines on this.
I know, there's only so many lines on your.
Did you
board.
change
Try
your
to,
actual meeting in March? Are you talking about? change?
well, no,
Because of,
no,
They did not.
we did not. We got off on this and
I know.
then,
I was like
And it's called,
putting the stuff in the
it's
meeting.
called August 6th workshop is what time?
correct,
Yes.
fix a
The
workshop.
problem is trying to find a date.
I was busy editing and
I know.
on the calendar, so I wasn't sure.
Right now I have the
Who can't make the 18th?
Like for the 18th.
I don't know if I can. I have family in town and I got kids all at home. So I don't know if I'm.
Okay.
Somebody cry me a river, okay?
I don't know, girl.
I got family in town right
I'm
now.
not mad about it.
Wow, but-
So that's why you want to go to.
Exactly, that's why you want it, you have kids around, that's why you want to get there,
Like
come
these
on.
people, I like these.
All right.
I'll make,
Especially likes their kids.
I'll make bourbon balls, you know,
Jeez.
before I leave.
All right, so we have the next meeting scheduled at March 18th at 6 PM at East Lake Library.
Let's fix the meeting.
All right, stop it.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Dan, you're here, you can do that.
Second by Phil.
All
All
right,
in favor?
all in favor, we're up.
So,
You made it.
Going to accept.
did I win by a minute, right?
No bourbon balls.
Because you said 7:45, right?
Let's go to your house.
He said eight. He said eight. About 1 minute.
Oh, just leave it.
I'll second that. Listen, we can call it a time. It's okay.
It's gonna get us all.
Very nutty group.
Okay.
And I agree. We got out of the meeting. We didn't have a forum. So the almost.
Right, exactly. No, you're gonna collect the exactly.
My face is all red.
Good job, Jerry.
I'm a process by trade. This is not.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Good night. Jack.
Those audit committees. Apparently. I'm gonna let you know when.
No, because they're gonna have to be.
No, okay, you guys let me know. Yeah, okay.
Only one here.
Yeah.
They did file.
Okay. All right.
Yes, that's it.
They said that as I'm setting up this meeting, I said. I should say that. Yes. Where away. Like 3 minutes, whatever she had, whatever the county, I am. Now I visited that email and I'm getting pushback. Those two things because. The whole conversation was had. So that's what I'm here. I don't know. So I can respond on emails. You're disciplined. And that's why I'm doing that. So. I mean, you're. So that's what I'm doing. I know you recognize that because you're.
Yeah. Gotta take out.
Oh, no, no, yeah, I talked to Dan, I guess, touch base with him, whatever. Yeah.
That's his.
Yeah, that's why I mean, yeah, I'll let him know.
Just because I was transferred.
But you're like, I'm not point of contact.
You're not. You're not.
Okay. Okay. No.
For say.
Okay.
Yeah, so now.
So.
I have one.
Erica Picard,
Well. Yes.
Mr. Check. Glad I checked.
Discuss this. Find out, okay, what did I do wrong?
So where's the meeting next month? East Lake?
That's their problem.
Oh, Beth, I thought you left. I said bye on your phone. I was mad at you.
You know, but I mean, you were doing work that I used to do, that would have made it. So those are two things that I think that
They're asserting, no, they didn't get our.
Yeah.
One day.
Yes.
I have.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna take shoes out of his mouth.
Thanks, guys.
See you next week.
Someone send out an email.
Yes. I'll send out an email tonight, or actually I'll send it out tomorrow. Oh, shoot. Keep your eye out. We had to resend out the signature cards.
Yeah, I did.
Erica, did you sign your new signature cards? that
I
came
did
out?
tonight, yes.
Okay. Yeah, and somebody got timed out. They
Yeah.
didn't sign it in time. So there's a time frame we have to sign all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get signed right away. That's why I sent an email